Spiderman 4 is in the works. It's in production in some form or fashion. Sony needs to figure out what Spider-Man's going to be in it. Is Tom Holland going to be reprising the role? Are they going to have to go ahead and cast their own separate of the MCU Spider-Man? Are they going to have to try to bring back somebody? What's the script going to be? How's it going to work into the Sony aspiring Spider-Man universe, spearheaded by the likes of Morbius, Craven, and Madam Web? Like, it's an entire, tangled web that they've weaved over there. But all we know for sure is that Spider-Man 4 will be showing up soon. Don't know. But the whole idea of Spider-Man 4, hell, even Spider-Man 3 has always been a tenuous proposition when it comes to the silver screen Peter Parker adaptations. Hollywood wanted to go ahead and have an easy $1 billion. They would just simply go ahead and make, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4, put Sam Raimi back in the director's seat and go ahead and, not have too much studio meddling over the top of that. But they aren't smart enough for that. They want to go ahead and forge ahead with a multiverse movie. Oh my god. Listen, you managed to capture lightning in the bottle with No Way Home. Everybody loved it. It was the last Marvel adjacent movie that made over $1 billion. If you try to run it back again, it's not going to end up hitting like that, and it's just going to be a goddamn disaster. But you go ahead. If you think that this is the way forward, all the best to you. Spider-Man 4 being another multiverse movie would be the wrong move for Tom Holland's MCU hero, because Spider-Man, Peter Parker is Marvel's, at least standalone. Like, you could argue that the X-Men is a bigger property, or the Fantastic Four could be up there as well. But when it comes to individual properties, Spider-Man's number one with a bullet, and just muddling him and saddling his character with a bunch of additional cameos would not end up doing him any favors at all. But we're talking about studio heads in the death throes of the superhero genre, and they're going to go ahead and get desperate and do some wild decision making. MCU Spider-Man 4 should move away from multiversal storytelling for a street level tone that would benefit Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Just take it down to the street level, like the MCU's Echo. I hear that was so great. Since Spider-Man No Way Home's ending, news has been sparse on the continuation of the character in the MCU. A Spider-Man 4 story in the MCU has long been rumored. Nothing of note has been concretely confirmed by Marvel Studios or Sony Pictures, aside from Tom Holland's countless reiterations that he would love to play Peter Parker again, so long as the story warranted a return. And Tom Holland also, within the past year, just deciding to go ahead and go deuces from Hollywood for a while because he's been kind of burnt out from the system. But what does it say here? That said, this lack of solid confirmation has not stopped theories from being concocted about Spiderman's place in the upcoming slate of Marvel movies. What is that upcoming slate? What are the confirmed dates? What are the confirmed releases? Not the ethereal in-production projects that are on the MCU slate. Just go ahead and just let us know about that. With Marvel's 2024 release list only consisting of Deadpool 3 concerning theatrical movies in the MCU, it is unlikely that Spider-Man's return will come anytime soon. But on the Sony front, they have a whole slate of duds that are on the way. However, recent unconfirmed rumors about Spider-Man 4 suggest that those at Sony Pictures wish to make the film another multiversal adventure. God damn it, man. Sony, you're so stupid. Which would prove to be detrimental to Tom Holland's character for a number of reasons. Well, as you could see earlier, he said that he'd come back for the correct story, and this wouldn't be the correct story. According to the unconfirmed rumors, Kevin Feige and Tom Holland wish to keep Spider-Man 4 at a more grounded story. Okay, cool. And as you know, No Way Home's ending set up a street-level story, after everybody's mind got wiped. I don't think I'm, telling too many spoilers for a film that's, 3 years old at this point in time? Like, come on now, catch up with the times. Firstly, Spiderman's No Way Home's ending does not support another multiversal level story. At the end of the film, Spider-Man essentially sacrificed his own life by telling Doctor Strange to cast a spell that made everyone forget Peter Parker existed. This allows the breaches in the multiverse to end, but also meant that Peter Parker's life, as he knew it, was over. Everyone he loved everyone he loved forgot who he was, forcing him to begin living a solitary life as Spider-Man without the hindrances that his life as Peter Parker brought to his superheroics. This ending means another multiversal adventure would not make sense for the character. No Way Home's story left off with Spider-Man becoming exactly what he was supposed to be, a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for the people of New York. This proves that a street-level story for Spider-Man 4 would work perfectly, as it could explore Peter reckoning with his new life as well as Spider-Man's renewed interest in fighting the crime of New York rather than world-altering threats like Thanos or the multiversal Sinister Six of Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, exactly. You could finally tell a story about Peter Parker in his prime instead of having to rehash his origin story or his younger college life. Like, Christ almighty, there's decades of source material of Peter Parker in his prime. It's kind of like having a proper Robin to Batman. Like, that has scratched the surface, doesn't even begin to cover the amount of material that has actually been brought to the big screen. Like, we've never seen a proper in his prime Spider-Man on the big screen. That's just the sad reality, and there's so much source material. But then again, tell those stories when you could bring in a bunch of cameos. Yeah, we don't know too much about the theoretical Spider-Man 4 script, what could ultimately be entailed in that. All we know is that, yeah, the only thing that's concrete on Marvel's announced schedule is, well, the upcoming Avengers 5 and 6 films. When are they going to come out? Well, they've been announced. We don't know what one of them's going to be called because it used to be the Kang Dynasty, but less said about Kang the better. But Secret Wars, which everybody, at least who has ideas and information about the source material for the Secret Wars storyline in the comic books is, well, that's the opportunity that Marvel can go ahead and reset their universe and, I don't know, maybe pare it back down to something a little bit more manageable, give themselves a mulligan for the disaster that Phase 4 and seemingly what Phase 5 is setting itself up to be. Perhaps we'll be seeing that sooner rather than later. We might even see, yes, Spider-Man's next multiversal movie before we see his own solo endeavor. But there's a way that we can go ahead and bridge the gap on this one, where you can go ahead and satisfy everybody involved. You can have the cameos, you can have the multiverse, but then at the same time, you could also have the street level action. And of course, that involves bringing in a familiar face from the past. No, I'm not talking about Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire overshadowing Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Okay, we're not having multiple Peter Parkers this time around. We already told that story. It's time to move on. There's other things specifically in New York that you can go ahead and pilfer from Marvel's recently acquired past. And you know what we're talking about? We're talking about some of those Defender stories over there on Netflix, and we're involving Iron Fist. I'm sure that there has been team-ups or there has been stories in the comic books surrounding the two, given the fact that they both occupy the same real estate, but this inclusion, if it were to happen, would be not just establishing potentially a new Spider-Man, but also a new Iron Fist. Marvel developing new live-action Iron Fist project will sideline Finn Jones' Danny Rand in favor of a female lead. So Kevin Feige is literally making out with the meme, running back the South Park, enter this Panderverse, stick a chick in it, and make her lame. Don't know if she's going to be gay, though. I would imagine, Iron Fist and a female, well, that kind of writes itself. In a rumor that, if true, would indicate the studio has learned absolutely nothing from the failure of their previous such attempts at pandering, new internet whisper suggests that Marvel is working on a new live-action Iron Fist project set within their cinematic universe. But rather than Finn Jones' incarnation of Danny Rand, the titular character, will instead be held by a female lead. Well, I know a little bit about the Netflix Iron Fist show, said to be the most embarrassing of the Netflix affair, but the way that show ended was Iron Fist giving up his powers, passing his metaphorical mantle to a female. So this might actually be, in the cringiest way, adherence to the canon already established. Like Marvel's in its current incarnation in the MCU, not really known for doing that, but okay. As relayed by a number of outlets, including The Hollywood Handle, Film Updates, and Daredevil Updates, word that Marvel was interested in revisiting the culture of Kulon has first let slip to the public that on January 27th, courtesy of a noted scooper, Daniel RPK, to his personal Patreon account. All right. Fortunately for fans of the living weapon, and particularly for those who enjoyed the aforementioned Jones take on the character, Rickman followed up his news of Iron Fist's return by noting that, in typical Marvel Cinematic Universe fashion, rather than Danny Rand, said project is being developed in service of handing the mantle over to a brand new female protagonist. Yay! Just what we need in Marvel. More women! Further, the scooper noted that while the production decision means Jones's Rand will no longer serve as the franchise's resident champion of Kulon, it did not preclude the curly-haired hero from making future appearances in the MCU, whether in said Iron Fist project or elsewhere. But to be fair, it's not exactly the most faithful interpretation of the character, because Iron Fist, he's an Asian dude. Like, just go ahead and do that, okay? It's kind of like Shang-Chi's an Asian dude. If you're going to pilfer the comics, well, goddamn, just do it right, guys. Come on, it's not that difficult. At the time of the scoop, Rickman did not provide any suggestion as to the potential identity of Danny's female successor. To this end, speculation suggests that should Marvel choose to try and keep some semblance of the continuity between the original Netflix series and the new project, as they did with Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again, a likely candidate for the MCU's version of Colleen Wing, as portrayed by Jessica Henwick, whose story ended with her having both inherited the power of Shao Lao and beginning to use it in service of protecting New York City. See, it's canonically faithful, and of course the MCU would do that because, well, it fits, doesn't it? However, should the studio wish to introduce a new character to fulfill his role, the source material offers up a number of potential and established options, all of which will be disregarded by Marvel because we know exactly what they do. They stick a chick in it and they make her lame and gay. And what are they going to do in order to bolster their terrible decision making? Try to attach it to an already established project or a property like Daredevil, work her into Daredevil Born Again, whatever that's going to be, or just go ahead and affix it to a street level Spider-Man project. Oh boy, wouldn't it be great? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.